Hi, my name's Eric Anzalone, and this is What Matters Most. Did you know that 23 million children and adolescents in the United States are obese and overweight? As I stand here right now, kids and teenagers are being diagnosed with what were once adult diseases, such as type 2 diabetes and heart disease. In fact, an organization known as Mission Readiness, made up of retired senior military officials, has classified the situation as a threat to national security. And in any situation like this, we need a hero, we need a champion. Enter Miss Amy, a woman who is on a crusade to change these stats and create a better, healthier tomorrow for our children and our planet. So, today we traveled to the Miriam Moore School in scenic Hamilton, New Jersey to speak with Amy Otey, better known as Miss Amy.
The myth of beasts move. They fly like a bird and wiggle like a bug and hop like a kangaroo, swing like a monkey, then swim like a fish, shake a tail feather too. Imagination Island, way out here in the ocean blue. Imagination Island, come on along and bring your myth of beasts too. And sometimes the myth of beasts like to do it this way instead. You know you found one way up there in your imagination. It's time to set it free. Ha ha! So bubble like an octopus, strut like a chicken, and walk like a big baboon. Then leap high like an antelope, slither like a lizard. They dance as they sing this tune. Imagination Island, way out here in the ocean blue. Imagination Island, have fun like the myth of beasts.
Miss Amy earned a 2011 Grammy Award nomination for this, Fitness Rock and Roll, and she was a featured artist on the 2012 Grammy Award-winning CD, All About Bullies, Big and Small. This is her highly touted first book, Keep Kids Fit, Classroom Activity Breaks, designed to help pre-K through 5th grade teachers implement classroom activity breaks. Put away the Legos, pull up a chair, and welcome Miss Amy.
Thanks so much, Eric. Glad to be here today.
Well, thank you for being with us.
Yeah.
I have to say, when I look at the cover of this, all I can do is picture you running into a phone booth, and I know a lot of people don't even know what a phone booth is anymore, and changing into Miss Amy.
Absolutely.
What's the magic behind Miss Amy, and how did that all come about?
Well, it is sort of magic. It's an interesting development of brand, and it started back in 1995, pretty much, with the birth of our first son, who was born extremely prematurely. He was born no bigger than your hand. And that shifted sort of everything. Instead of working full-time a corporate job, I was always a singer and a guitar player, and I needed to be a full-time mom. So in a life-threatening situation, we do what we can do, and I was able to stay home with him and help get him on the right track for health and wellness, and I continued to play, and I continued to play then out, and as a moniker of respect, children at this age, you know, 0 to 8, pretty much call their teachers and call their folks who are important to them, you know, Mr. Eric and Miss Amy. So that's how Miss Amy got born. And it's funny, my mom and some other great advisors in my life said, don't just stick with Miss Amy if you're going to release really serious CDs. They're not going to think you're serious. I said, I'm a serious teacher, so there.
You are. Look at, you got all the stars to prove it and medals. What are some of these?
Well, yeah, let me explain this. So as far as my superhero costume, this is my superhero costume. I'm a great patriot here in the United States. I'm also one of the official advocates for the President's Challenge program, encouraging people to adapt healthy lifestyles and to earn their President's Active Lifestyle Award. I stepped up and started volunteering with them back in 2007. So that's part of my program with Fitness for Kids. I have 5 CDs out. I guess I need to put a red one or something for the book because I haven't figured out where to put the book yet.
Well, you do have a red one right there.
I do. Okay. Oh, yeah. I guess I'm gonna have to write another book, aren't I, to do volume 2? But then let me also explain my medals here. This is a pin from the President's Challenge program. This is a pin from the Grammys from the 53rd because we were nominated for a group project called Healthy Food for Thought, and this is one for the 54th where I was nominated with the Fitness Rock and Roll album and actually won the same year. I was up against myself on the group album All About Bullies Big and Small. This one I'm particularly proud of. This is for New Jersey Special Olympics 2014. New Jersey's hosting the Special Olympics this year, and we're very excited, and I'm stepping up to volunteer and do some things with them, so good stuff.
God bless you.
Thank you.
What I find interesting about your book is, I mean, this is not just, it's all encompassing. I mean, we have everything in here, you know, you have literature, you know, web links, you have drawings, you know, explaining how to do everything. I mean, you even talk about imagination in this book.
Absolutely, and character development. It's all part of the growing package of kids. I think that, you know, just to take a microscopic look at things, it doesn't really do it justice. So I took a macro look at everything and took the skill set and expertise that I have in fitness and fitness training, and then also with the music, and then also just being a successful parent, knowing that you need to make those connections with art and science and literature and social studies, and how that fits into curriculum along the way, because I really wanted to give the teachers a resource that they could see using in their classrooms. Like when they're doing a science lesson, how are they going to explain that? Well, they might want to do a song about how things work as far as cooking, you know, we're cooking, and so how does that work? Do they make popcorn together? They're going to talk about sometimes foods and always foods, so it leads into other things. It's not a narrow focus. It leads into, okay, science, nutrition, movement, social studies, Eric Carlisle, you know, all those things, you know.
Yeah. The author, Eric Carlisle,
yeah, I was pointing to you on that, but yeah. Eric Carlisle, The Hungry Caterpillar. So all of those things really fit into a holistic lesson plan that can be very, you know, good for the teachers.
But had you written a book before? I mean, how did this come about? I mean, this is no easy task, especially because how involved this is. What gave you the idea to put it down on paper? To
put it down on paper. Well, I felt I owed it to the next step of my evolution. We were nominated for this music. It's been so successful every time we present it with the Fitness Rock and Roll because of my training in fitness with foundational fitness, and I've trained for 20 years simultaneously while being a musician, you know, in that other stuff as far as, you know, Pilates, yoga, pre and postnatal, kids and teens fitness, strength and balance, all of those things I've been trying to incorporate into my shows, and people when they come, children and parents and grandparents all are interacting and doing these things together. I wanted to bring it to the next level. So in putting that book together, I think I came home to my husband of many years and said, you know, I think we need to do this the next thing. Oh, good, great, go right ahead. He's my biggest cheerleader, and big shout out to Alex, because without that inspiration, it's like, oh, okay, I can write a book. So it was a long process, but you know, I'm not going to kid you, it wasn't easy, you know, but I'm glad I did it. Yeah.
And then what made you, I mean, so you wrote this for, basically as a guide for teachers, or was this, so?
It's a guide for teachers and for parents, and it's really for teachers pre-K up through 5th grade. And each of the lessons, there are 12 active lesson plans based upon movements and choreographed movements, as you showed, based upon the music on the Fitness Rock and Roll CD. So we wanted to show the movements on that. With each one of those lesson plans, we've got it divided up into art, science, social studies, nutrition, and math, how you can do a lesson around each one of those active plans here. And they all support active lifestyles. So each one of those, you know, when I was thinking about it, I had to sort of divvy it up into the way that I would think about it linearly to present it to teachers. But parents use this too. We have a lot of homeschoolers, there are big changes happening in the classroom, and there's federal reasons behind why it's a good thing to, you know, get that going.
Yeah, and you've been very, very successful in your endeavors here. I mean, with the Presidential Active Lifestyle Award, let me get that right. That's cool.
President's Active. You could earn one of these.
It
only takes you I will come back and give you a certificate on this. It only takes you 6 weeks. And as adults, the national guideline, the physical activity guideline for adults, is to move 150 minutes a week. Okay. So.
And can children win this too?
Yes. Okay. Ages 6 and above.
And so you inspire families to get
Sign
themselves a medal.
Absolutely.
you were invited to take part in the 2010 White House egg roll.
Yes.
Is that true?
It is. Yeah.
How'd that happen?
A lot of work on my part.
Sure.
I'm an independent musician, and again, this goes back to imagination, which is also featured in the book here, that you just kind of somehow have to think outside the box. It's always been a dream of mine to go to that event, and I knew that in the past that they'd had some children's acts, and I'm, with Michelle Obama's platform of Let's Move, it was a perfect fit. So through lots of research and lots of phone calls and lots of door knocking, they said, absolutely.
Did they call you?
Perfectly the person. Yes.
I love it.
I know.
Who's calling? The White House.
Right. No, I didn't have a secretary. I actually answered the phone, and yeah, it was a little crazy.
I have to say, it was fun when I. This is, by the way, this is a fabulous CD. Go out and get yourself a copy of this.
Thank you.
When I was first looking at this, though, before I'd listened to it, I saw track number. I'm sorry, I need my glasses. Track number 7 just says egg roll,
Absolutely.
and I thought, okay, now this is about fitness and rock and roll. Why is she singing about fried Chinese food?
They do it on the White House lawn. What the fubby haze got it going on. Their movements. Yeah. We could get you up there doing that with your sure.
Okay.
So we premiered that music there. We played 3 shows down on the Ellipse right as people were going in for 30,000 people. It was the most thrilling, wonderful, absolutely fabulous.
Besides music and fun events like the White House egg roll,
right.
You are a strong believer in child character development to accompany a healthy child lifestyle. Correct?
Absolutely, because it starts with 2 things. It starts with adapting, or I should say claiming, your athletic identity, and that can happen at a very young age. Kids need to see themselves as active adults throughout their entire life, but they need to be successful at things. So by incorporating foundational fitness moves like balance, strength, endurance, flexibility, all of those things are building blocks, so they can see themselves later on succeeding in life, actually, on how your body moves. If they get attached to one particular sport, and let's say they only play that sport for 1 year, and then they don't ever play that sport again, then they could say, well, I used to play basketball, and then that's it.
Like me.
Right? No. Because you told me you do yoga now. See?
I do.
So it's all an evolution. But the character development part of that comes about because by giving them that toolbox of those skill set, what you're doing is you're giving them an opportunity to develop their character and to feel positive about themselves. This extends into personal reflection, how they see themselves, how they present themselves to the world, bullying. All of those things are very important when we're developing positive kids.
You coined the term benefit, right? And it's about activity, poses, and movements. What is the importance of implementing all of these and making the world a better tomorrow with our children?
Well, oh boy.
And let's go to the book.
That's a big question. Let's go to the book.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I coined the phrase benefit so that classroom activities, teachers who are putting classroom activity breaks in their classrooms can actually put something down on their lesson plans for the day and say, today we talked about athletes, and the benefit was we did an active song, a classroom activity break. It was a slow burn, medium impact aerobic break that lasted for 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
You've got it down to, to the time. So perfect for setting up, for a syllabus or something.
Right, and so combined with the warm-up, with the classroom activity warm-up, which could be jumping jacks or could be just balancing, that right there then gives the teacher something to put down and say, okay, for 5 to 10 minutes we did this. So there's studies going back, way back that say movement over time.
Right, I got to ask you, because this is wonderful what you're doing. Has anyone else ever really done this? Because I remember as a kid watching Romper Room and getting up and doing this kind of stuff. So I know that schools somehow must incorporate this even before you came along, right? Or did you kind of take it up another notch?
I kicked it up a level. I think that there's always been active children's music. If you think about Little Red Caboose, or I've been working on the railroad, Barney, and you're wandering around, okay, that's fine. I'm not sure the people who actually designed that thought about kinesthetically what's really happening with the kids. So I do feel like my training has led me up to this point, and I'd like to think I'm one of the first of many who's actually going to, do this. The reason this is important is that in 2006, the U.S. Surgeon General came out and said, we need a call to action on this obesity crisis.
Right.
So it has filtered down into suggestions by various groups, including the Wellness Impact Report, the Physical Activity Guidelines, the CDC, and they're saying that one way to get kids to be more active is to bring more activity into the classroom.
Yeah, and going back to the epidemic.
Yeah.
An organization, Mission Readiness,
Yeah.
right, which is comprised of retired senior military officials. Now they say this is an actual security risk, a threat. Can you explain that? Because obese and overweight children are certainly not terrorists, but so what exactly are they getting at?
What they're getting at is that they recognize that when 1 in 3 people who go to volunteer for our volunteer military are turned away because they're too obese or too unfit to serve, that's a problem. That's a volunteer military. So then they're looking at statistics that the CDC and other groups are putting out and tracking as far as obesity. And when 1 in 3 children are obese right now, then what happens to our population over time? That means that we don't have mission, we're not mission ready. They're very concerned. It is a threat to national security. How are we going to protect our country? How are we going to encourage people to want to serve if nobody's fit to serve?
How do we stack up with other countries?
Ooh, now, you know what? You're asking me a question outside my expertise, but I'm interested in the answer, so I'll probably go back and look it up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, is there
right now, I don't know.
Miss Olga or Inga, in other countries,
Oh, you mean as far as what I'm doing?
Yeah, I mean, have you looked to
know.
see if internationally there's other...
I don't know, but I'd love to meet him.
Okay.
You're a world traveler when you come across one, especially Australia, which is also really battling an obesity epidemic as well. So I'd like to know that I'd have counterparts, or I'd like to go on a world tour. I don't know. I'm easy. I'd like to inspire other folks. I mean, I think it's a weird mix to have a Grammy nominee and a fitness pro. Write something meaningful to be bringing in the classrooms.
And you've been involved, obviously, not just this. There's a few releases you've been involved with.
Yeah.
Is there like is each album like a concept album, or is there an overriding theme, or are they all different in their own way?
All of the above. Each album is sort of a concept album. The first one was very playful and based on imagination. That's Underwater. But there are songs, big songs in there that require big movement. And over time, what I've done is to be able to choreograph that movement. So when I said Volume 1, I wasn't kidding.
I know, right?
I know.
Volume Uno. So when is Volume 2 coming?
Oh, I need to finish writing it. But you know what? The ideas are already there. And it's through practice and through the honor of playing with kids that some of the best ideas come from. So I see what works with the developmental ages. Some people can balance on one foot, some people can't, some people try. It's all good,
And it's really, this is not just for kids. I mean, I've seen some of your videos, and they were shot, and I believe the one I'm thinking about was shot in a mall, and the adults, the parents were having just as much fun as the kids, and that's important, correct?
That's very important, because these are the role models. These are the role models for our children, and if they see grandma moving, and if they see mom moving, if they see dad moving, even playfully like that, then it sets a tone for that it's okay to move, you see? So move.
And in all these movements, I mean, they incorporate yoga, like Tai Chi, light aerobics. Have you actually had training in all those?
Yes, I have. For the past 20 years, I'm trained and certified in Yoga 1, 2, 3, Pilates 1, 2, step aerobics, master step aerobics, pre and postnatal, kids and teens fitness, older adult fitness, young adult fitness. I mean, every year I go and try to get another certification to learn more. I'm working on one right now for nutrition, so I'm excited about that one.
With everything you just listed, when somebody sees a Miss Amy show, a Miss Amy concert, what do you want them to take away from that?
Move. That they feel comfortable moving in their bodies, that I've given them the motivation through the music and through the experience of being at a Fitness Rock and Roll concert, that it's okay to just stand up and move. My vision of a perfect world is to see people standing in the line in the post office, balancing on one foot and doing it on the other foot. Kids don't stay still. I mean, right?
Right.
Right. And they shouldn't stay still. They should be constantly moving. I was going to tell you this earlier. There's actually a study that goes back to the 1950s that talks about movement over time. And really what that means is that people doing similar jobs, if you're sitting in your job for more than 20 minutes at a stretch, you're really putting your body at risk. You need to get up and move about 4 to 5 minutes during that 20-minute period. That's kind of the rule.
Okay, see ya. I gotta go.
Oh, we'll get to that later. Yeah, well, so, no, I mean, really, I mean, yeah, we have been sitting here a while.
Yeah.
But no, there are lots of opportunities, and I would like to see that it's okay for people to be moving, you know, not twerking, moving. I know. Well,
there is good to twerking, isn't there? I mean,
yes, I guess so. There's a little hip movement.
That's a little bizarre doing this in a children's setting here.
You'd be amazed what I've seen young children emulate, and that's the point. Is that we need to have positive role models that are out there showing them, you know, where these boundaries are and how to move. And
have you ever thought about doing something like for adults? I mean, I know you incorporate adults in this, but you ever thought about having a
Yes, I've actually thought about that. I teach actively. I teach several yoga classes a week. I do a hatha practice, and I attract people 50 and older, and we really work on flexibility and balance and just stability, you know, and it's been a really positive experience. So I may have a yoga CD in me or an audio thing. I don't know. Depends on what my producer husband says and says, sure, go ahead and do it.
Alex? There's a caveat that goes around in the showbiz world. It started by W.C. Fields about, you know, never working with children and animals, and you certainly work with children. And I'm going to ask you now our question that we ask all our guests about what matters most to you and the legacy you want to live. But I got to tell you, seriously, God bless you. May the universe bless you for what you do for children.
Thank you.
You know, W.C., hey, you were funny, but come on, this woman, really, they broke the mold. So getting to my question then, what matters most to you when you're gone? What is the legacy that you want to leave with the world to inspire a better tomorrow?
Wow, if I had to be remembered for something, I would like to be remembered as someone who inspired people to be their personal best, starting from children all the way up. I absolutely love working with kids. Every show is a different show. Every kid has a different take on it. It's really, I can't imagine doing anything better.
If you stick with it, you too can get all sorts of medals, awards, patches. I'm telling you, it would look really good on my leather jacket.
You can actually earn this. In 6 weeks, you can earn this. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you our New Jersey pin, the Special Olympics New Jersey pin, to take with you today, and you can put it on your leather. No, I'm not.
Wait, are you really giving this?
I'm really giving that to you because you live in New Jersey. I know that you support kids, and maybe you'll come out and do some support work for us for the Olympics coming up.
I'm really touched. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're going to make me blush and cry.
Oh, wait. You know what I hear? I hear some kids. I hear some kids. Maybe they're ready to rise and shine.
I can't hear anything because I'm deaf, but are they really coming?
I do. I hear them. It's Miss Amy ears. I do.
Miss Amy Otey. An artist, performer, fitness guru, activist, mom, and dare I say, superhero. But more than that, a woman whose songs and music fill the hearts of young and old, inspiring us all to live the lives we were designed to live, healthy, fit, and strong. Reminding us once again, the simple things in life are what matter most. Namaste.
And reach out wide. Touch your toes out, little star. Touch your toes out, little star. Touch your toes out, little star. And everybody reach out wide. Okay, everybody, reach up to the stars. Here we go. Reach. Reach. You want to jump and reach? Let's do it. Jump. Reach. Way up high. Jump. Reach. Super job. Now run your legs wide. Bend your knees and punch the air in front. Punch. 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 That's fantastic. Overhead and reach. Reach. Looking great. Punch it out in front again. Punch. Punch. So strong. I love it. Take a deep breath. And
If you enjoyed our program, please share it. Become a partner. We welcome your support as we continue to create enlightening episodes and meaningful programming. For more details, check us out at whatmattersmostshow.tv and on Facebook/Experience Nirvana. Namaste.
Countdown from 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, there's this caveat in show business, all started by the late and great, what W.C. Fields. He was a very funny man, but he said, you know, you never want to work with women and children. Wait. Whoops. Well, that's for the outtake reel.
Wrong Dr. Freud.
All right. Come on, guys.
Oh my God,
Keep
that'll be good for the
outtakes.
credits.
Yeah, right. I did. Yes, I was telling you that story earlier, and it's this craziest thing. We were at the Mystic Aquarium doing a big show, and my husband was with me, and we were playing in front of the seal tank. So there were 200 kids, Miss Amy on this wet concrete surface. 3 seals in the back who were swimming around minding their own business until they heard the trumpet. And when they heard the trumpet, they got up on their little things and they were like, yeah, it added a whole new dimension to the show, and I was thrilled. I was actually tweeting ahead of time going, I sure hope the seals decide to sing.